Hello, Augies Worldwide. I'm Dave Casler, amateur radio call sign KE0OG, here with another episode of Ask Dave. The first thing I want to do is just bring you up to date on our personal situation. We are in a level 1 of 3 levels of evacuation for the Gold Mountain fire, which is taking place just north and a little bit east of Ouray, Colorado. We are in the lowest level of evacuation zone, and just to be sure, we have evacuated to a RV park that is north of here. It's a brand new one. We know the guy who is opening it. So we're spending nights up there so we don't have any weird things happen in the middle of the night, and then we can come down here to do our work during the day. As it looks now, the fire is heading in a different direction from where we are, and they started to backfire. And we're able to make it go off in the other direction. So it's really not threatening us right now, for which we are very grateful. I thought what I'd do in this video, since it's just an update, is to tell you a little bit about what I've got in the review queue. The review queue seems to go on forever. So let's take a look at some of what we've got here, okay? The first one I'm going to mention is this is a Chelegance Z-Load. It's a 200 watt DC to 520 megahertz 50 ohm dummy load. Lots of cooling vanes on it. It came with a male PL259 on it. That's all I had in stock. And so I put a little barrel connector in here so I can connect a regular PL259. What I'm going to do with this is use the vector network analyzer to take a look at its behavior from DC to 520 megahertz. And we'll see how it looks, what kind of SWR we get. We want this to have a flat 1-to-1 SWR across all the frequencies where we will use it. I got it specifically because it is a dummy load for VHF frequencies. Another thing that I received was from Ham Radio Boutique, which is in Italy. And this is a 49-to-1 Ballon for an end-fed antenna. Now, they sent me 2 large masts that go with this, but this one we will review separately. Unfortunately, it came loose inside during transit. The problem is that this sticky goo that they put on the thing doesn't actually stick. It just comes right off. So this thing started flopping around and broke the solder joint right there. That is easily fixed, and that's what I'll do. Oddly, I found that the return lead on the Ballon was not attached to anything, nor was the other side of the capacitor. That's really weird. So I'm going to try it as constructed once I make that first repair, and then I'm going to rewire it in a standard rewiring type, and we'll go ahead and test it from that. This is the antenna. Goes out here, and this goes to the counterpoise. It says ground, but it's actually a counterpoise. So we'll fix that, check that out. This comes from Ham Radio Boutique, which is in Italy. Now this right here is from Alpha Antenna. I picked it up at Dayton, and this thing comes off, but it's a loading coil of some kind and a user guide. They call it the HOA Buster. And what it is designed to do with this clamp right here is feed your gutters. So we'll see how that works. We'll feed the gutters and see if we can load it up and actually get something out of it. We will compare its receive capability with my good vertical antenna, which is now back in service. I had to take it out of service while the cement truck came to pour the dog run. And when the septic folks came to maintain our septic system. So this will be a fairly simple review. We'll put it up. If it seems pretty good, we'll try a few QSOs, see what we can get. This right here is something I've had for a while. This is the QRP Guys No Tune End Fed Half Wave Antenna. And it is set up right now with enough wire for 160 meters, and then we'll try it on the other bands. Now it gives a distance chart for how long the wire should be right in here, and they're different So I'm wondering if this will work on all bands or if it has to be done on the indicated band only. Now, the interesting thing about this, the balun in here, it's actually an unun, is not 49 to 1, it is 64 to 1, 8 squared instead of 7 squared. Okay, so we'll give that a test. Now, this is a radio I've been working on. It's a DMR radio, and I am having terrible trouble getting it to connect to the computer. I'm using the software that's on the Baofeng website. It's a Baofeng. Now, Banggood is a retailer, and they're the ones who sent this to me. And I have had a lot of trouble getting this to connect to the computer. Also, I can't tell how to switch, like from VFO to memory mode. And you have to go through a long menu to get it to VFO mode from channel mode or memory mode. And this reminds me a lot of the much earlier Baofeng radios that were difficult to do. All the newer radios, this is a DMR radio, all the newer radios, you can, with one button, switch between VFO and memory and so on. The lock features and so on were very easy to get to. So this one has stumped me, I'm afraid. Banggood has been wanting me to review it, and frankly, I'm having trouble, so they're going to send me something else to review. But just keep in mind that this reminds me very much of an older Baofeng DMR radio. I looked for the model number in all my previous reviews and didn't find one. So this I'm going to set aside for the time being. You know, I tried the software from the Baofeng website, and it would connect, but even though it said it transferred data, it didn't. So something is wrong. Now, this is also from Baofeng, something I picked up at Dayton. I thought I was getting a single radio. It's a little miniaturized UV5R. So they call it the UV5R Mini. Now, notice on here, we have a VM to memory, an A versus B channel, things right up there as separate buttons. So that is really, really nice. It also has the flashlight in it. Look at this thing in my hand here. If you go from the palm to my fingertip, it's not larger than my hand. Now, what really surprised me about this radio, I paid $30 for it at Dayton. Here's the radio. And right inside, here's another one. Isn't that cool? 2 radios for $30, $15 a piece. This is pretty doggone good. Now, what I will do with it, I will test all the spurious signal, and I will check the wattage claims and everything like that. So this will be fun. Now, this one right here is a real prize. I talked to the bird people. This is the bird people at Dayton. And I talked at length with the guy about what's going on, and he sent me a little note that says, "Thank you for being my online Elmer. I am working with my team to secure extra elements for the Model 43. This is from Jason, KN4 MUD. Okay, and this is what came in it. Oh my goodness. This is your classic bird watt meter. This is a brand new one. They still make them. And they have end connectors on the ends, so I have to get adapters for that thing. These holes on the sides store spare elements. And this one right here is the one I'm missing, is the watt meter up to 25 watts for 100 to through 250 megahertz. So that includes the 2 meter band. And so now I have a genuine good watt meter. These things sell new for over $600 on the Bird website. And fabulous thing. We'll put this through its paces. I have 2 other watt meters we can compare it with. But this is a jewel. Absolute jewel. So I really look forward to putting that through its paces. That's from Bird. Okay, also from Anytone, that I haven't actually reviewed yet, is this radio. This is the Anytone The D stands for digital. AT is for anytone. D stands for digital. 168 is the model, and UV means that it does both 70 centimeters and 2 meters. Okay, and here's the antenna for it, and there's a battery in there too. Now this is the DMR meter, but it is so much easier to actually work with. It comes with 2 batteries, so you'll have a spare for any work you're doing. And they give you a little, like I said, everything's going to 5 volts, even though the battery is 7.2 volts to about 8.2 volts when it's fully charged. They do it with the 5 volts, and there's the thing to do it. And we've got a longer antenna here if you want a little bit more range. So this is a pretty cool little thing. It comes from Bridgecom Systems. And I highly recommend that if you buy an Anytone radio, you buy it from them because of the support they offer, including what they call DMR University, I think it is, that will teach you about it. I've got that many notes so far. We'll finish up that review and get that out. Now, when I was talking to Bridgecom Systems at Dayton, they have come up with branded radio. It's a DMR radio like these others, but it's under the Bridgecom Systems umbrella. Now, the name of the radio, well, it's Bridgecom, but they've got a name for it, the radio. It's some exotic name. We'll look that up, video here. Okay, so this will be reviewed. Now, this one I saw on Banggood. It's a radio from a company I've never heard, Bintalk. I think what they're trying to mean is B-I-N-T-A-L-K, but they put T-O-L-K, which would be pronounced as talk in English. Okay, now this radio right here, the Bintalk, it lights up everything when you turn it on. Channel mode. And again, you can get to and from the modes fairly easily. It's got multiband, NOAA, commercial FM, and this is interesting, AM for receiving the aircraft bands, and it offers some other frequency privileges too. Kind of interesting. Now, when they sent me the little 5-volt thing here, look at that. Oops. Fortunately, I have an adapter, and this thing will take pretty much anything from 100 volts. Let's see. Input 100 to 240 volts, 50 or 600 hertz. The output is the 5 volts that it needs for charging. So I can use any one, or I have an adapter for this that I've had for many years. This has this for charging. Put it in down here. And then to actually talk to the radio, they have under here, they've got this in there. And over here, oh, this is where you plug in to do the programming. I didn't send a programming cable per se, so we'll get this figured out. But I ordered it from China, so it took quite a while, but it actually shipped from an address in California. But this, I've seen some other radios like this, and it says high power, which it claims is 10 watts. We'll put it through the bird watt meter and see what it really is. Now, here is an antenna from Retevis. This is and it's just a single piece of wire, and it is supposed to be, oh, it just says, let's see, 144 and 430 megahertz, has a bit of a gain, 2.15 dBi on 144 and 3.5 dBi on 70 centimeters, max power of 150 watts. Okay, Visuar less than 1.5. We'll test that claim by putting it on top of another vehicle. Now, my Jeep has a plastic roof, so that won't work very well, but this is a gigantic magnet to hold it there, and it's got a center fed thing right here for this to screw into. So we'll put this through its paces and see how well it works and let you know. Okay, this right here is something I've had for a while. This goes with the Zygu G90. And these are the little adapter so that you can do digital with the G90. We'll have to test that out. I've got the G90 up in my RV, which, as I said earlier, is parked several miles north of here, just south of Montrose. This one right here is an interesting one. You see this actively advertised. Now, I actually bought this with channel funds. This is a little module, and there it is right there. Now, this connects to USB-C for power. It's got key out if you need that to key the transceiver, key in, and audio in. And you bring in the audio from your radio, and I've set it up to do that, okay? And I've played with this a little bit. It claims to be, if you believe the advertising, the do-all, be-all, end-all Morse code receiver. But what I am finding is some issues. I tried it during a CW contest and ran into issues. So we will see. If the code is machine sent, it's beautiful. I'm going to try this several different ways, including hand sent Morse, okay? Also including the ICOM 7300's keyer output. I printed out the manual. Here that goes with it. Like I said, currently advertised. This right here is a Retevis. This is the MA1 mobile transceiver, and it is FM only. It does not do DMR, and it's got all kinds of instructions and relationships in here. Very good manual, this entire manual. Let's see, it's got English and, of all things, German. Okay, so we'll take a look at this and see how well it works. I think what I'll do is mount it in my Jeep. I do have the plastic roof problem, but what I have done in the past is just put the antenna out on the hood on the far side and see how well it works there. Okay, so we'll test this out, put it through its paces, check the actual power output, and so on. Okay, so those are all the things that I have to review, except two more that my assistant is reminding me of. This first one, these are from that Ham Radio Boutique, which is hamradioboutique.com. Boutique. Okay, you'd think of something like that from Italy. I've got two of them here. They're both temporary masts. This mast right here will go up to 20 feet. That I can handle, and we will put it up and take a good close look at it. All right, it has to be guyed at the top. And they send the little guy stuff for that. This monster here, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to test this at all. It's going to take 2 or 3 people to put this up. This opens up to 60 feet. And they want 3 sets of guys, 20, 40, and 60. Now, I can do that, but wow. Trying to get this thing vertical from the ground is going to require a few people to put it up, some way to hold the bottom. See, the bottom is just this. It just sits on the ground. So we'll have to have something for it to sit on, or the first good thunderstorm, and it'll sink into the ground. Okay, but that is a very big, and so we'll guy it at all 3 places. I've got the little parts that go in for that. And we'll see if we can get it up to 60 feet. I guess I do a sloper up to it because I've just got the one. This is the right height at which to mount a 40-meter dipole, 60 feet. So we'll see how it goes. But again, I've only got one. I don't have anything else on the property that goes up to 60 feet. All of my trees top out around 35 feet. So there we have it. Now, again, I write the Ask Dave column for QST. Gordon West is the instructor mentor for those who are instructing for ham radio. The league has his book and his videos. The videos are up in the Learning Center, and they have my training videos, which go up on which are for the league's manuals. Now, the technician was just updated. If you go to the Learning Center, which is learn.arrl.org, you can sign in. It will take a different sign in, but if you're a member, they'll very rapidly let you in. And in there are Gordon's videos and my videos. The technician have just been updated. Now, the technician videos are also available on the ARRL headquarters YouTube channel. So if you go up to YouTube and search for ARRL space HQ space Dave space Casler, you'll see my videos pop up right there. And they are in the process of updating them. They have had the videos now for several weeks, and those will be updated soon. Now, the general and extra videos are on the Learning Center at learn.arrl.org, and you have to be a member to get to those. Now, Gordon sent me, since the guy who was doing all the work, Steve, has gone back to full-time teaching. There's a new guy named Max who's in charge of all the educational offerings that the ARRL has. So Gordon sent me a long note with a bunch of brainstorming stuff. I'm going to reply to him. Again, we're stuck in this fire fiasco here. It's a fiasco as long as it's over there. It's deadly and threatening if it's over here. Right now it's a fiasco. We'll see what's happening. They've got over 500 firefighters working. They've got a FEMA regulated incident command center just down in Uray. They've taken over the fairgrounds, and that's what they're doing down there. We'll be keeping you up to date with all these reviews that we have to do. Watch for those. We'll try to continue to do 3 long form, 3 short form videos a week. And then we'll be working in between that, these reviews and so on. These reviews take a lot of work, because if I get like a handheld radio, I put it through a lot of tests, including usability and things like that, and I like to demonstrate it. So there it goes. It's all coming. So if you would keep in your thoughts and prayers those who are fighting the fires and those whose homes are endangered. We are in the lowest level of evacuation warning, but we went north because my wife, when she was 4, was the last one out of the house when her house burned down as a child. So she's pretty much deathly afraid of fires. She doesn't like fires. So we just got out. We'll come down here during the day and we'll sleep north of town in an RV park. It's a brand new RV park. It's called Waypoint West RV Park. He says he doesn't quite have it on the internet yet, but it is open so people can stay there. And they've got, for most of the park, they have all the hookups. For a couple of these sites, they have water and electricity only until they can prove to the city, not the city, the county, that their septic system is big enough for that. Okay, so until we next meet, if you have questions, send them to Ask Dave, that's all one word, at arrl.org, not .net, org. Or you can write directly to me. I've updated my email address with Google. You can still do Casler28@gmail.com, or do Dave, K-E-0-O-G, all one word, Dave, K-E-0-O-G, @gmail.com, and that will come directly to me. The nice thing about the 2 email addresses is that you can send photographs, documents, whatever goes on. When you ask me a question about your station, I'd like to know more, not less, about your station. What radio are you running? What kind of ground system do you have? What kind of antenna system do you have? How long is your feed line? And tell me a little bit at the antenna, if it's a dipole, how high is it? All of those things like that. And the brand name and model number of your radio so I can look that up. I will try to get to as many of those as I can. I literally can't answer every question that comes my way, but I'll try. So until we next meet, check us out on Patreon and 73.